evening, friends. We begin our fourth session on self-transformation. Just an introduction. We are doing this series covering three areas. One is we will be sharing a well-being tip every week. The second is we will also be sharing the scientific benefits of meditation, which are well known. However, we will be taking one benefit at a time every week. And the third thing, which will be part of this self-transformation series, is wisdom sharing to improve and better our life. Self-transformation is all about transforming in simple, small steps the body, the mind, and the soul. We will start off with the well-being tip today. I will share my screen now. Today's topic on the well-being tip is sweet sugar, the bitter enemy. The usual disclaimer: this presentation is not intended to provide medical advice. It is intended for information purposes only. It is based on the work of scientists and medical professionals. If you decide to make any changes in your lifestyle, it is advisable to consult with professionals. This presentation is in no way implies that it is a universal cure, as every individual is unique. This presentation is based on scientific research and clinical trials carried out by scientists and medical professionals of reputed institutes throughout the world. The question is glucose or is sugar your friend or foe? So glucose is the most important source of energy for all living organisms. Our body makes glucose from the foods that we eat. Because without glucose, we cannot live. We are naturally inclined to look for the sweet taste. When we eat, our brain thanks us for providing the energy by releasing the hormones that make us feel happy. So we look for more sweet foods. We used to get glucose from natural foods such as grains, vegetables, fruits, etc. Then the Indians extracted the juice, the dark molasses, from sweet plants such as sugarcanes. The word sugar and sucrose are derived from the Sanskrit word sharkara. That became the quick energy booster. So why has suddenly sugar become the bitter enemy? We started the mass production of white sugar in factories from the beginning of the 19th century. We produced 182 million metric tons in 2021. The production of sugar, white sugar, began the end of our health in modern times. Why do we get addicted to sugar? When you take drugs, listen to your favorite music, do shopping, or smell cookies baking in the oven, some regions in our brain light up, the orbitofrontal cortex. Some hormones like dopamine, beta endorphins are released and travel to the brain and tell the brain that whatever you just did was really very pleasing. Do it again. This is exactly what happens when we also eat sugary foods. The word pleasure is derived from the word sweet in ancient Greek. So what are the types of sugar? So one is fructose, found in fruits and honey. Then we have galactose, which is found in milk and dairy products. Xylose, which is found in wood or straw and used in sweeteners for diabetics. Maltose, found in barley. And glucose, found in honey, fruits and vegetables. The familiar source, sucrose, which is found in plants such as sugarcane and sugar beets, is made up of glucose and fructose. The white sugar, the one we add, is made from plants such as sugarcanes and sugar beets. This comes with many consequences. In reality, you don't need to add sugar at all. Added sugar is not essential. Excessive sugar causes a lot of diseases, including acne, cancers, dental decay, depression, faster aging, gout, heart diseases, and so many more. Science, medicine, all agrees that sugar is not required. Added sugar is not required. However, even though not required to add at all, what are the guidelines? The American Heart Association says you can take about 9 teaspoons of sugar per day. The World Health Organization says you can take about 6 teaspoons of sugar a day. NHS says you can take about 7 teaspoons a day. And the US FDA says you can take about 12 teaspoons of sugar per day. Let's reflect on how much added sugar we are really taking. In various things we add sugar. We need to think about how much sugar we are really consuming. Let's look at a few examples. Just one tin of cola will have 9 teaspoons of sugar. If we have a Mars chocolate bar, we will have 8 teaspoons of sugar. If we have a cup of ice cream, it will have more than 10 teaspoons of sugar. Just 1 tablespoon of ketchup will have 1 teaspoon of sugar. A cereal bar will have 3 teaspoons of sugar. 1 fruit yogurt will have 6 teaspoons of sugar. If we start eating jelly babies and we can't stop, 1 pack of jelly babies will have 29 teaspoons of sugar. And we are all told in India that Chyawanprash is really very, very healthy. 1 bottle of Chyawanprash, 1 kilo, contains 159 teaspoons in 1 bottle. So is that really healthy? What is the average added sugar consumption per person? So the average in the world is 70 grams per day. However, the average American takes in 126 grams every day. The average British takes 96 grams per day. The South Korean takes only 11 grams per day. Even though it is not required, WHO says you can take up to 25 grams every day. We need to think about diabetes. Worldwide, $1,250 billion is the cost to treat diabetes alone. Per hour, $143 million is the cost to treat diabetes, and this will double to $2,500 billion in 2030. When you eat food, pancreas secretes insulin to provide glucose, the energy from that food, to your cells. Insulin opens up cells and glucose is transferred into the cells from the bloodstream. This maintains the blood sugar level. When you eat too much sugar, cells gradually stop responding to insulin. This is called insulin resistance. Glucose remains in your blood for longer. Pancreas makes more insulin to remove glucose from the blood but fails. And this is the cycle that we go through. Too much glucose in the blood causes type 2 diabetes. Too much insulin stops burning fat and you start depositing more fat. Then the cycle of chronic illnesses due to chronic inflammation involving multiple organs starts. So what are the effects of taking in excessive sugar? One, obviously addiction. Two, tiredness. The gum cavities and tooth decay takes place. It is a cause for liver failure. There are heart concerns and the arteries get clogged. Insulin resistance is there. There is increased uric acid in kidneys. It results in obesity and imbalanced gut microbiome. It ends up in various infections. Too much sugar results in bone loss. It also results in various skin conditions and infertility. When we eat processed foods, let us not be fooled with the fancy names that sugar is coated under. And these are just some of the names that we will see in processed foods which actually relate to sugar. Now let us look at the names where artificial sweeteners are used, and they also lead to type 2 diabetes, and they also have very other long-term adverse effects. Whatever is not found in nature in its natural form is not essential for our survival. Refined sugar, white or brown, is not food. So the question is, what do you eat for natural sweetness? Whole grains, wheat, rice, millet, barley, oat, legumes, pulses, vegetables, fruits, and milk. In a nutshell, let us maximize whole plant-based foods. Whole grains, legumes, pulses, vegetables, and fruits. Let us minimize added sugar or avoid totally. If finding it difficult, then let's reduce it to as little as possible. And let us avoid foods which are processed, which have a lot of sugar in it, which is beverages, cakes, biscuits, chocolates, creams, etc. And therefore, let's remember, Hippocrates said, let food be thy medicine. And Ayurveda says, food is medicine. Thank you.
There is one question regarding sugar. The RDA for each country is very wrong. Would you say there seems to be a conspiracy, Dinesh?
So, well, whether there is a conspiracy or not, it is very damaging to health. Uh, so there could be lobbying groups, which affect all guidelines which are given. There is obviously it's a big multi-million billion pound industry, production of sugar. So, when people set guidelines, if they are being influenced by the industry groups, then obviously there will be some influence there. The other consideration which these bodies must be giving is that it would be difficult to have a very strict guideline that you don't need it at all. Then people would not follow it, and it would become very difficult. So I think there is a balancing act with the bodies, but I would not be surprised if there is some influence from the sugar industry as well. But the bottom line is that it is harmful for health.